Good evening, everyone. I'm Stephanie from Shivani Ayurveda Academy. Welcome to this webinar, Harmony Within, with Dr. Shivani Sood. She is the founder of Shivani Ayurveda Academy and Shivani Clinic. And this is established since over 20 years now in Dharamshala, India. We are committed to make the modern, fast-paced healthier, balanced, and committed to help you to learn and receive Ayurveda the scientific way. In today's free webinar, you will get insights for a calmer life. During this webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to write them down, and Dr. Shivani will come with a reply to it at the end. So let's start. Please make yourself comfortable, get yourself a warm cup of tea, some paper to take notes, and please welcome Dr. Shivani.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be hosting this webinar tonight where we're going to talk about one of my favorite words, which is harmony. To make this webinar accessible to everyone, we have this being broadcasted, and this is an opportunity for you to learn Ayurveda and feel its power in everyday's life because what and who I am today is because of the beautiful science of Ayurveda and how the people who are in the Ayurvedic world, their life is changing. So today I'm going to share with you a lot of back scenes, stories, and you also have the chance to ask your questions. So I'm very excited for this beautiful hour which we're going to have together. And if you're an enthusiastic student and you have questions, then please write it in the chat because towards the end, we are going to have an understanding towards what you would like to ask me. So, in today's webinar, the agenda is about understanding what exactly is harmony, why it's important for us, what's the evaluation score, how do you evaluate harmony, and then we have really like a look on what key strategies do I use and which parameters do I work with my clients to make their life better. Because now I'm in Ayurveda for a period of 21 years and I am a very different person than what I was 21 years before. All of this is because of the power of Ayurveda in my life, and that's why to teach Ayurveda and bring Ayurveda in people's life to make it more healthier, calmer is one of my purpose or dharma. So all the secrets are out tonight about how I work with the clients because Ayurveda is not only about nutrition, Ayurveda is about really knowing about how your life can truly change from inside. And very few are aware about the power which this science can bring in your life. Most of us think that Ayurveda is about nutrition, Ayurveda is about medicine, but Ayurveda is a complete way of thinking, living, choosing your habits, and the spectrum of happiness it can bring to your life is really unbelievable. And that's exactly what it has done to my life and to the life of people who are practicing Ayurveda. Hello, Agata. So nice to see you live. And so, with the open heart, this webinar is for great information about you having an insight about your life and you having an understanding about what really needs to change, because I know this feeling where we are succeeding in many aspects of life, but we still don't feel that we are reaching where we would like to. So what is this inner dissatisfaction in this modern era? What is this feeling of being feeling unsatisfied or pressurized? Tonight's going to be the answer. So some of the places are watching this webinar in the morning. So good morning if you're watching from US, and good evening Europe, and it's almost good night in India. But the ones who are willing to learn, tonight is your night. So let's start this webinar with first understanding what exactly, what exactly is Ayurvedic harmony? How does it work? So the first thing um, about Ayurveda is that the mind and body are considered as one, right? So Ayurveda is the place where centuries before, the Ayurvedic people always said that the mind and body are not separated, they are actually one. And modern science is talking about this today. Modern science is saying that your gut health is important. We have in the market so many supplements for the gut health. We have, links in between scientific gut health and depression. We have links in between our physiology and our mental health. But all these interpretations are very Ayurvedic, like they have been said 5000 BC, that the mind and body are one, and there is no one way that we can really separate the mind and body. So it is very interesting to see this, that the science is actually verifying what Ayurveda has said over the centuries. But why is the mind so important? This is exactly what is important to know, because the mind has thoughts and emotions, and the body physiology through the hormonal tract is really influenced by the mind. So every thought has a physiological influence on us. For example, when we are highly stressed, we have a stress hormone which is called cortisol. And when we are smiling and when we are shiny, then we have calming hormones like serotonin and dopamine, which are just produced as a result of emotions. And actually, science also says this, that it is not really important for a person to just smile from inside. Even when you're smiling just without any reason and you're happy, your whole physiology is changing. So the power of emotions is really strong in our life, and many people which are in our life are really present in a way that they're influencing our thoughts and emotions. And that's exactly what we are going to see today, about how this mind and body are connected. So, going to the next place, what is really important to see is that our thoughts have energy, right? But what really makes our thoughts? What is that? What makes our thoughts? So, our thoughts are basically produced by three main things in our life. Number one being our past experience, what has happened to us in the past. And number two being influences from current life. That means that what's going on in our life, what's happening right now in our life. And the number three being the state of our body, which basically means that how do I feel with my body right now. So if you had a very stressful day, then you're destined to feel down, and you're destined to feel that like you have no energy or sometimes no enthusiasm for life. But the thoughts are made up of these three things, which are very important to see: your past experiences, your influences on what's going on in your current life, and the state of your body. And when we look at our thoughts, that's exactly what makes the quality of our life. That means that I could just have very little in my life, but if my thought says I have done enough, I am satisfied with what I have, I'm satisfied with where I am, and thankful for who are with me, then these thoughts are very balancing thoughts, and they result in us feeling satisfied in our life. But if our thoughts goes like, oh my god, I have not done enough, I have to do more in my life, it's not enough what I am doing, so then what happens is that you are not able to really relax your mind. So Ayurveda is this science which emphasizes on the quality of your life. It is not a science which is only about medicine. And the quality of your mind in Ayurveda is really dependent on what is exactly your mind type, right? Because what I want to say here is that thoughts are very, very important. But then how does this thoughts actually come into our brain? Do they fall from a tree into our brain, or does this have some genetical origination? Now, speaking about the genetical origination, Ayurveda defines the three types of the mind: the Vata type, which is an emotional and sensitive type, and very intuitive, creative, but in an imbalanced stage, they are really doubtful and they are really confused. And the second type, the Pitta type, and in our world, the fire types are really increasing because everybody wants to be just so perfect. So they are very perfect, they're ambitious, they want more, they're very goal oriented, these kind of people. And on the imbalanced side, they are very frustrated because when things don't go right, then they are frustrated. And this is the Pitta type. And then there's the third type who are very happy where they are planted. They are calm, stable, satisfied people who are very happy with where their life is and do not really want too much from their life. And initially in Ayurveda, these three types were told, and people were clearly defined as one of these three types. But what's really interesting here is that evolution and our modern society mixed up all the mind. So now we have types in the psychology in Ayurveda, which is conflicting mind. And conflicting mind is like you think about something and you think first from the emotion and then from the logic. For example, the logic says something and the emotion says something else. And both of these sides are inside you and are fighting. For example, you would like to have a vacation with your husband because you feel that you're having less time with him, but your emotion side says, oh, you can't leave the child. So now you're split. Should you go for a vacation or should you not go for vacation? Or you know that your job's really not good for you and is psychologically also stressful for you. It's very clear it even doesn't pay you, but the emotional side says, well, if you leave this, the other person will feel bad. What will he do? How will you do? So there's like this inner fight inside you. And centuries before, this inner fight was never there. We were very clear about our type, and roles were assigned like this. The sensitive types, the Vata types, were mostly in art and creativity and in the field of artistic fields, with craft and so on, and also on the intuitive and psychic side. And the fire types were mostly assigned logical places where you really needed monitoring and so on. And the calm type were mostly in the planning because they would just be like the center, and they would plan and execute, and if something would go wrong, they wouldn't shake. But with evolution and with us being asked and demanded many things, what's happened here is that we are having this issue that our minds are really twisted, and conflicted mind is one of the result of the modern era. And if you have a conflicted mind, the best thing for you is to first create a calm and stable state or a place and calm it down. Don't take decisions when you're confused out of emotions and logic, decisions from emotion because your logic's going to criticize it. And don't take decisions from logic because your emotion's going to criticize it later. So reach a place of calmness and stability when your mind goes up and down. Because most of the time when I took decisions also based on emotions, later I was like, oh, I did it, but I don't know if it was the right one. So all of us can reach this stage. And so watch out when your mind's getting confused and when you're especially getting split in between your emotions and logic. Can happen in relationship also. For example, if you are with a partner and this partner is not the right person for you, then your heart might say don't leave him, your head might say leave him. So get to a calm state and do not take decisions out of an imbalanced stage. And this, I can tell you, is something which I've helped a lot of my clients to do, to find out their own answers, not to seek answers from outside, because that's what exactly Ayurveda emphasizes. Harmony comes when your answers come from deep within. Now, this next thing about the mind type in the new era is the creation of the suppressed mind. Interestingly, what is a suppressed mind? It's very strange, but many of us have it. That suppressed mind is exactly that we are outside something and inside a different person completely. So, what does that mean? That means that you're a very emotional and sensitive person, but when you go outside, you portray yourself as somebody who is very logical, somebody who is very strong, somebody who can push through things. And this sensitivity is just for you inside. And this is called as a suppression of the character. That means other people do not see this. And what happens? Suppression of character means outside you're always okay, right? So you help other people, you are, very logical, but this inside self to kind of really always be this logical person takes a lot of energy. And this energy is something which disturbs your harmony. Okay, so this is again a result of the modern era, that we cannot be as we would like to be because we are so afraid of being judged. And so we keep our emotions inside us and portray ourselves as a strong person. Emotions are the most beautiful thing in this world. Emotions are beautiful because when somebody expresses his emotions for us, that's when we feel the best, right? Because materials are basically just coming and going, and you get a phone, you're very excited about it for 1 day, 2 day, 7 days, 1 month, but then comes the next phone. So it doesn't have, the materials do not have this ability to keep you happy, but you never forget these moments which you created with people. And so just because some people had an emotional imbalance, you should not be afraid of displaying your emotions. And in suppressed character, mostly it's very difficult to recognize even the person is hurt, because when the person is hurt, the person just walks away from pain and comes back when pain is gone, right? So people don't see the person in pain. Now, this is the third thing which has happened in the modern era, is suppressing your ambition, showing yourself as if you don't care. So this is like a suppressed pita, where you show that you do not care about things and you don't want to be in this competition. You will relax and calm and chilling, but inside you always feel you're not good enough and you should do more, and you're struggling to be successful and you want to succeed, but you do not speak about it. So this is all this psychology which got complex is a reason, because we were all asked to be in a certain way. As I told you, thoughts come from childhood. So when the thoughts come from childhood, what our parents demand from us also plays a very important role in shaping our psychology. And psychology is what shapes our harmony, because psychology is affecting us more than other things in the modern era. And so, when we have thoughts, it is very important to understand this, that if you did not break down these thoughts, then these thoughts is something which will create disharmony in your body. And harmony in Ayurveda is actually just the definition of health. Health is harmony. And what exactly is health? So there are some complex words here because I've taken it from Sanskrit. But in general, Ayurveda says that a person's dosha must be in harmony, his digestive fire must be balanced. So you see, gut health is connected with harmony. All the tissues and the waste, that means that the body should be in a healthy condition. And elimination system is very important, so our bowel movement, this is very important for harmony. But what is really important here to see is that in order to be harmonious, the soul of the person must be happy. Okay, so how can the soul of the person be happy is one of the question I have been really investigating, because finally, to be happy, all your sense organs should be happy. And if you're really aware, then when you see happiness, then you can see this, that when someone's happy, then it just radiates on the face of the person. Yes, you don't need to, if you know this person, you really don't need to kind of, he doesn't need to come and tell you he's happy. So happiness is invaluable. Okay. But in order for happiness, life should not look like a forced living. We should not live like we have been forced to live, because joy and freedom, this is our birthright, right? We are all born separate, and we should be able to live happily. So, where does the joy and the happiness and this understanding come from? In order to kind of evaluate that, just based on this Sanskrit shloka, which defines health, I have created a test, and I will be asking you some questions. And you are supposed to answer this question and tell me your harmony score. But this is a modern test which is based on the Sanskrit sloka, what I showed you right now, what defines health. Because health in Ayurveda is not about just blood test, it's about a complete individual feeling happy and excited to live in this world. And so these points are very important to notice. And you can just count your harmony points, how many do you have, and you can share it in the chat. So a moment of break, and maybe you need to get some pen and paper, so please get it, and we will just start the test then. Hello Maya. Hello Agnieszka. So nice to see you live in the webinar. So if you're live, just please leave comments, because all the live attendees have a special gift, which we're going to speak about it later. So stay till the end of the webinar and participate in the webinar. Write in our chat that you're there so we can have a look at you. Okay, so let's start our test. Hello, Monica. Okay, so let's start our test and define what is harmony. So the first question is that, do you digest the food good? Do you feel gases or no gases? So if you digest, Amrita Vora, hello from London, hello. So if you digest the food good, then you write yourself a score of 1. Yeah, so you're counting your harmony score. And if you're having this, then you write a 1. If not, you keep it a 0, and that's it. So do you have if you digest the food well, means there's no gases, your stomach's not bloated, your stomach feels really down, so you're getting a 1. Second, if you have a good energy levels, the second point is if you have a good energy levels, which means that in the morning when you wake up, you have energy, and in the evening, when you come back home, you still have energy, you feel that you have a balanced amount of energy, give yourself another 1. Next, if you have a true appetite, hello Shashi, if you have a true appetite, then give yourself a 1. What does it mean, true appetite? That means that you eat in a calm and relaxed state. And when you have a true appetite, you don't crave for chips. You want to eat healthy, and you feel that your body needs food. But you know what is a false appetite? Like you're passing near the bakery and you look at the cheesecake and you say, oh, I want to eat this cheesecake. So this is not a true appetite. So false appetite is when you're looking at food and when you're starting to crave for it. And true appetite is when you eat on times and you feel your hunger. As you have seen that in the definition of health in Ayurveda, it's very important to feel your hunger. So yeah, you have then one for your good appetite also. Then the fifth point, so we have 4 points till now. If you digest the food well, if you have good elimination system, that means you go to the toilet every day. If you have good energy levels in the evening, you get one more point. If you have a true appetite, you get one more point. The fifth point is very interesting because it's like when you're at work, do you have enthusiasm and energy, and can you work in a relaxed state? Can you work in a relaxed state? That's the question. So if you can work in a relaxed state, so you're not like, oh, I need to pick up this phone, like this, and you're like, okay, I can pick up the phone and then I can do this. And if you can just be calm at work, you get one more point. So that's the fifth point. And the next one, if you feel joy, lightness, and enthusiasm as a kid, like children are. I think Easter might be a good example that, when the children are looking at things and they're like, wow, I got a chocolate, I got a gift, this joy and excitement. If you feel that, you get one more point. Okay. Next, if you have shiny skin, if your skin shines naturally and your eye twinkles, and your hairs shine. So your hair has this coating of shine on it. So then you get one more point because that shows your internal absorption system is functioning good. When our internal absorption system is functioning good, then these all areas are shining. Okay, so you get one more for that. And that's your 7th point. Next point, 8th point. If you had a calm and a harmonious childhood, and you were appreciated at home and you were very comfortable with your parents, you felt love, you get one more point. Because the childhood lays the foundation for harmony. When your parents demonstrate a calm behavior when they are stressed, they calmly resolve the problems, then this is one of the best way to teach a child. Not teach him and ask him to behave, but just be the example which is a good example. So if you had something like this in your childhood, then you get 1 point. So 8 points are done till now. Let's go to the 9th point. Your relationship status doesn't matter if you're single, you're married, you're divorced, but you feel happy and satisfied from this relationship status, you get one more. So that's the 9th point. If you're older and you share good relationship with your parents now, so you've made peace with your childhood and it's good with your parents now, then you're going to get one more point for that. Okay. If you sleep good, if you're sleeping good, then you get one more point. Okay. And if you can express yourself, then you get one more point. That means you're able to speak what you would like. Okay. Like if you don't want things, then you're able to say, I don't want things, so you get one more point for that. And able to speak also means that you're able to speak what you feel. So if you feel tired, you're able to express, I am tired, I can't do it anymore. So then you get the same point. That means you're able to speak what you feel and not speak what people want you to speak, right? So then you get one more point for expression of your feelings and emotions. The next one is if you can feel at a positive work environment and positive at your work, then you get one more point. So the first point of the work was that when you're in any kind of action, doesn't matter work or something, you still are harmonious. And this one is about at work, if there's a positive work environment for you to work, then you get one more point, because your work environment is accounting for half an hour of like half of your work day. So it's really important to kind of pay attention to this. Okay, and if you have a good connection with your body, with your sexuality, with expression of how you love a person, then you get one more point. And the last one is if you have an ability to hear your body. What does it mean, ability to hear your body? Is means like you can understand that your body is tired, or your body is stressed out, or your body is not feeling well, and you know where to stop. So you have a good connection with your body, then you get one more point. Okay, so that is basically the 15 points which we have. And now I'm waiting for you to send me your harmony score. What's your harmony score? Were you able to calculate from the live? So these parameters are also important, because when your harmony score is improving, then you're basically getting better understanding about what you need to work on. So whichever doesn't feel like a harmony for you, you can just uh, you can just mark it and just work on it. What was the fifth point? Okay, I'll just ask the team to kind of put it inside the chat box. Okay. Ulrike, hello. It's so nice to have my students here. Monica, Ulrike, Nicole, Monica, Agnieszka. Yes, so what looks like your score here? The fifth point was feeling harmonious while in action at work. I've just asked the team to try to put these points in the chat, and they are trying to do that. So all the points will be in the chat here. So have you calculated your harmony score? What's your harmony score? $13. Claire. Okay. Nice. Monica, 8. Okay, nice. Right, because for me, what happens many times when these Sanskrit shlokas are there, then I know the Sanskrit, but I don't know what to check every day to see if I'm improving or not. So many of this Sanskrit shlokas, I have tried to break it down into modern test so we can have an evaluation of our harmony score. And all these 15 points will be sent to you if it's not coming on the chart here. So it will be basically sent to you so you can have an understanding about it also. Wow, it's amazing. 12, 8. So Ayurveda is not about judgment, yes? Hello, Simona. Ayurveda is about understanding, yes? Ayurveda is about really knowing how to evaluate yourself. So, Cree, have you worked on yourself? Simona score 9. Okay. Amancia ask. She missed the number 3. All the points are coming on the chat now, so you can check it again. But okay, while you see these parameters, the one who have 13, then have you worked on yourself? Because I see some 12, 13 here. Have you done work on yourself? Because this score is only possible when you work on yourself. But yes, harmony score is something I always work with people, and I work with this because otherwise the word harmony is quite abstract. Yes, what harmony and how can we create harmony? So health is harmony, and in Ayurveda, when our health is good, then basically harmony is developed, because health is not about vitamins and mineral, but it's about the overall approach of how you approach life and how you approach everyday topics, work, relationships, and so on. So once these harmony score, sometimes you can even have like a very high score, but you might need harmony in one aspect missing, which is missing, and you would like to develop it because it might be an important part of uh, your wish. Yes, you see, she worked on herself. Yeah. Without working on yourself, it is very difficult to achieve good harmony score. So if you have um, you know a good harmony score, that means it's very clear for me that she has worked so much. Yeah, very nice. Keep it up. Okay, now I'm going to explain you a little bit about the backgrounds of how I work with people, especially with when I work with Ayurvedic psychology, because everybody asks, okay, how what is Ayurvedic psychology and how you're working with your clients. So I would like to explain you the framework of how I work with my clients with the mind. So of course, I first evaluate the harmony scores, and I also take care that a person is doing mentally, physically the things right. So, working with his general health before working with the mind. But this is my structure of working with people, and this is something I would like to tell you because many of these topics are not being discussed because such issues were not present um, in the past. We did not have some topics. So the first thing what I really work with the person is the person's capacity of handling stress. Mm, Stress is a state of being uncomfortable. Stress is a state where a person is not feeling good inside. He might be doing the task. For example, you might be taking care of your children, but you might be feeling all the time stressed. So stress is a state of imbalance, and that's why the first thing what is really important to work is about stress. So like one of the stories which I have, like two case studies here. So one of the stories is about Joyce. These are made up names but true stories. Joyce had everything, practically everything, but she enjoyed nothing. Interesting, yeah, that you have everything and in your life you're enjoying nothing. So Joyce was this person who was always feeling that she has, but okay, she has her husband, the children. um, and for people outside, she was very successful because she was in a good position in a job. She had money, she had a husband, paychecks were coming. And so she always was trying to live up to this image of me, the perfect one who has a husband, child. And inside, she always feels stressed because she was afraid of losing all of this. So she did more and more inside. So such kind of stress is not evaluated because in our modern world, it is for sure that if you have a partner and if you have some finances good, you're successful. Nobody else sees if you're happy or unhappy. This is nobody asks this question also if you're happy or not happy. So Joyce had this inner stress, and she had in her mind in Ayurveda what we called as a pita clutter. What's a clutter? You know what's a clutter? If I throw everything out and it is just lying there, then it's a clutter. So, what is a pita clutter? So, working with Pitta clutter is very useful when we have stress, and stress can be different types. So, in case of Joyce, I worked with Pitta clutter. So, in Pitta clutter, she was very serious. This is also a disease. Seriousness is a disease because human beings are meant to be joyful. and she became too serious. Everything became too serious. And Joyce was not like this. But initially, in her childhood, when she was an easygoing girl, she was criticized a lot for being not careful and not hardworking enough. And that's why she really flipped around to be a person who was serious. So seriousness was not her nature, but it was the part of the Pitta clutter of the mind. And she was very fanatic about the results. So whether it be a child, whether it be a husband, whether it be Easter, whether it be Christmas, it had to be perfect. So she was not happy. And this is how Pita mental clutter looks like. Then Joyce had an imbalanced life. So after she worked for 15 hours, she had literally no energy for her partner and for her children. It was just the job of getting the children ready in the morning and sending them to the school. So, of course, she couldn't extract happiness for all what she created for. She created happiness basically for having a family, and family is for you to enjoy. But family for her was a responsibility. Joyce was also using pressure as a fuel, which basically means that she liked to pressurize herself. And when you like to pressurize yourself, pressure becomes a habit. You all the time feel some kind of inner pressure. And this is exactly what the Pitta psychological type do. They use pressure as a fuel. Uh, they also create unknown competitions in their brain. For example, if you're in one profession, then they're looking at the other people's profession and they're like very quickly challenged that, oh, he's doing this, I have to do this, I have to be at par. So Joyce had this mindset which was really creating non harmony and a disharmonious life for her, because she was always like, okay, I have to be more good at work, and creating more pressure for herself more than anybody asked her to. And then what happens? Joyce was this person, she was so full after work that the moment she entered the house, it was time for conflicts. She was not in a good mood, she had no energy for the children. Children were triggering, husband was triggering, mother calling triggering. So, you see, this is the Pitta mental clutter which was needing to be worked with. And the major reason why Joyce was struggling with her unhappiness was because she wanted to control every single thing in spite of being so busy, right? And she did not trust the family members. She thought she has to help her husband find a new job. She has to help her children do this, and she has to do this. So, this is how exactly a Pitta stress looks like. And everything is self created. And when we look into creating harmony also, Joy's life was like this, that she was all the time feeling stressed because her mind from inside functioned like this. Now, interestingly, in Ayurveda we have a lot of herbs, we have therapies, honestly, and they work really good. But do you really think that without correcting this inner paradigm of how the person is stressed out, any medicine, doesn't matter, even Western medicine, can help a person? According to my 21 years of experience, absolutely not. The inner game is really important, how we think. And that's why when we spoke about Joyce, this was one stress. But then the other person has a complete different view of stress. And the third person has a complete different understanding of stress. For example, Mary was stressed because she tried to do 10 different things at a time. She signed up for a course, she went to yoga, she did meditation, and she did everything good, but she just did too many. Why? Because she did not feel good enough. So, the first thing, when we see a person surrounded by stress, and this is my experience for many years, it is really important to understand what exactly and why exactly are you attracting this situation of stress, what's creating this situation of stress for you. And working on this is one of my strategies to help the client. And over the years, I can tell you, because people are coming and they're talking to me their deepest fear and how they feel inside, I have heard so many things what a person keeps inside, and how you struggle just to be normal, and how you struggle just to be okay. Whereas when we start to really look at our stress with Ayurveda, and when we start to dismantle it, And when we understand how we are creating this stress, I could do a whole webinar on stress because it's such an important topic. Then so much shift happens in the body physiology. The whole physiology of the person changes when you can really shift from a stressed out person to a relaxed person. Now, I'm not telling you that I don't never feel stress and such kind of stories, because I'm a very honest and straightforward person with my teachings and with my experiences of life. Um, but I can observe with Ayurveda when is the limits, where is that where I just cannot take it anymore, and where is that where I have to put really efforts to bring myself back to the balance. So this is the power of Ayurveda, and one of my important strategy to work with clients. And if I would make a presentation on the different stress I saw and heard from the people, I would do a webinar for the next 10 hours. Okay. So we move to the next topic, which is very important in helping a person's mind feel harmonious. And that topic is very important because it influences every single person, which is relationship. you know in the end we might convince ourselves that relationships, why it's important, doesn't matter, I don't want to talk to this person, and so on. But as humans, developing meaningful relationships, like I told you, most of the happiness, when a person's even on a dead bed and he's asked what makes you happy, most of our happiness comes from relationship. And that's why relationships play a very important role in giving us this safe space to express ourselves. And zero skills are taught about how to handle relationships. I don't know, even in a school, why they don't teach how to be parents and how to be children and how to be students, how to make relationship with your friends. This is very essential part of education. But especially when you're a parent, there's a lot of information you must learn before you are a parent. And relationships are really interesting triggers. For example, a client of mine, she's very emotional, and she was very sensitive, and she was looking for a strong man, and she found a strong man. But what happened is this strong man was a fire type, so never expressed emotion, never told her that he loves her. And each time he wanted to make her better by telling her what's wrong with her and how she can do better. And so his presence was making her feel less. And here exactly is a union in between a fire mind type and an air mind type, which mostly results in a lot of miscommunication, because one is constantly loving and expecting the same back, but the other is giving back in a very different way. Similarly, you can have a father or a mother and they really love you, but they don't say that, but they do things for you. Maybe your mother feeds you, or maybe your father makes a table for you. They have expression of their love in a complete different way. And in Ayurvedic psychology, this is very important to learn relationship skills. And what are relationship skills are, it's of course a lot based on communication, because you remember in the harmony also we had a point, um, we had a point where you were, it was important to find out how you can express yourself. So when you express yourself, then it is very important that you are able to understand how you should express yourself. For example, if you live with a logical person, then the logical person has to learn a little bit of the emotion, and the emotional person has to learn a little bit of the logic. And you have to recognize when the other person is triggered and how to handle the situation. So when the other person is very emotional, then the logical person shall give no advice. The rule is that he just listens and understand that this person is now in an imbalanced stage and needs more love and comfort, not advices and criticism. That's it. But there is more relationship skills, which is about really knowing which kind of relationships are actually triggering you. Who do you find it difficult to talk to? Who do you like to talk to? Yeah, all of this. Yeah, so these all points are very important. And relationship skills, when we are working with, then we are clear with what we expect from everyone, and that's really like a game changer. Okay. uh, the third point, which is very important to work with, and what I work with my clients, is about a very important subject, which is money. Now you will think, what is money doing in Ayurveda? But honestly, tell me, isn't money a part of our everyday stress, money management, you know, our connection with money, why we want money, how much money, loans, bills? And in Ayurveda, what is really important is that you recognize your relationship with money, and you learn money management skills, and you kind of learn how to use the money for creating the life which you want. Because it's a very good question to ask yourself, what does money mean to you? Does it mean recognition? Does it mean that you have a good life? Does it mean that you're free? Because if you have money, then you don't have to work. Does it mean you can fulfill your dreams? Everybody has a different interpretation of money. And artha, which is like one of the very important things, our way of living, is also a way of leading us to our purpose, but also it's a way for us to generate income and money. So a good relationship with money is one of the very important point of stress, and nobody talks about it in Ayurveda. But as I analyze my clients, I see money management skills, and working with money management skills is really an important structure of working with mental peace, and requires in-depth understanding of how to handle money. And I don't know out of you how in the webinar who are worried about money, who were worried about spending money, who are worried about earning money, who work too much for money, who give their health away for money. It is a topic, yeah, who don't balance their work and life because they have to earn. So it is also very important topic to talk about this topic in harmony, because unfortunately, when I'm also analyzing couples, they have money conflicts, they have discussions on where the money should go and so on, and is an important point of seeing that. And the fourth point, well, if you have good relationship, you manage money, and if you have stress less, is about self confidence. So if many people know, I know a lot of knowledgeable people who have a lot of knowledge, but do you feel confident enough to come out and speak about what you feel, and what and how you would like to influence the world, what you would like to give to the world? So many of us are like, if research was done, also public speaking is one of the biggest fear people have. They don't want to speak what they know, they don't want to speak on the stage, they don't want to do this, and this is all about self confidence. Now, self confidence comes with purpose. Yes, today I'm here in front of all of you because my purpose of teaching Ayurveda suited to the modern times of today is more important than me. So I have to be out there. So confidence comes when we find a purpose. And when we find a purpose, then our inhibitions go away, because we would like to influence the world in some way. And I'm really convinced with the way I have seen my Ayurvedic practice helping people. Doesn't matter in the form of clinical treatments or courses, or and the people learning from my strategy. So while I was working, it's always my way that I create strategies. So the knowledge is not just to me and belongs to me. I like to give away my strategies so that others can work with it too. And by doing this, even when I'm sleeping, many of my students have practices, they work with people and so on, and they are influencing other people, and that makes me very happy. So confidence is not something which you're born with. Confidence is something you learn understanding what is your purpose, because confidence is a very huge place of being. And when we say confident, maybe she's very confident at work, but as a wife she doesn't feel confident. Sometimes as a mother I don't feel confident. I feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with the children. Am I right? Am I not wrong? Am I wrong? So basically, you see, like, the confidence word is really very elaborate, and that's why in my strategy of working with confidence, it's very important to ask this question: why do I need confidence? What do I need confidence for? And interestingly, one of my patients told me that she needs confidence that she's good enough. And I said, you're good enough. But, it was the same thing. She has the pita clutter in her brain. So nothing was good enough and she was always leveling up. So she needed confidence in that she's good enough and don't need to all the time push herself and so on. So, uh, if you're looking for confidence and to be more confident, then you have to find your purpose, because when the purpose, like I said, is found, then your voice comes, you're criticized. Okay, everybody is entitled to their opinion, but you speak what's your truth, you speak what you would like to speak, and you come to a powerful place of influencing what you have learned and helping people with what you have learned. So self confidence is all about getting comfortable about who you are and getting clearer about what you would like to share. The next thing, what is really important to work with, is sexuality. So most of the time, when we even say this word sex, most of us are really with our mouth zipped because it's a taboo word. Very few of us even spoke about, sexuality and sex with our parents. It's a closed civilization and society. But is sexuality only about sex, or is this about our relationship with ourselves and our ability to receive love? So Ayurveda is basically a science which has emphasized on two things with its books. Number one is how to live a life disease free, and lots of herbs and remedies and lifestyle advices for that. But number two is sexuality, because a balanced sexual system results in a very balanced hormonal system which protects us from a lot of diseases. Right now, you can really see that many people are getting issues with being pregnant, or many children which are born with autism or are born with different kind of problems, and the issues are getting more and more. um, People have problems with their libido, men have problems with erection, women have problems with their egg quality. What's happening here? So what's happening here is that we are losing contact with our sexuality, and sexuality is your connection with yourself, your connection with your body, and your ability to open up yourself to receive love. And for a healthy mindset and to have harmony in your body, the balancing of these hormones are very important, and for which sex plays a very important role. But your self image of yourself plays a very important role. How you feel about yourself, how do you feel about your femininity? uh, do you feel like a woman? Do you feel like you can enjoy your femininity? So this is also a very important part of the client work which I do, is about discussing sexuality and about our experiences with how we feel when we are intimate. And the sixth point is very interesting, and it makes us more intelligent. It's like developing your sixth sense. I don't know how many of you know this, but thoughts are of two kinds. Number one thought is what you think, and the number two thought is what you download. So it's like this. Let's say you want to take a decision and you think about all the possible options and you just leave it. You just don't pursue your will, and then suddenly, I don't know how many of you have experienced, there comes a place where you really feel like this is the right thing to do. That's really right. And this is a thought downloaded. And when you take that decision, you feel harmonious. So, this is about developing intuition. Developing intuition means that when your mind is in a clean state, clear state, at this point you will start to feel as if you can find your way. actually it's very difficult to describe. Intuition is like a muscle, and this is a muscle I developed over the years. I took a lot of decisions in my work life. For example, in 2018, I suddenly stopped my European projects and developed my online. It was just an intuitive decision. um, 2021, the pandemic was here, and my online was not started because pandemic came. My online started because I wanted to use all my work which I had learned, put it into proper course, and teach the people how I'm working. So that's the reason I started online. It was pretty intuitive decision. um, I took some steps of closing some things which I had started based on my intuitive decisions. So intuition comes when your mind feels harmonious. Otherwise, it's just like you are repeating the thoughts of the pita clutter of what you think is right, and it's repeated and played in your mind. And most of the time, others feel uncomfortable about it. So, developing intuition basically means learning how to calm down your mind and look at a problem with a kapha, which is a calm perspective, right? So this is also one skill, and this is like developing a power, but it's really important that when we start feeling harmonious, then we are starting to develop this power to feel what's right, you know. And a very easy exercise to do this is like, tomorrow morning you just go out and think about a problem or a challenge or a decision you need to take. Uh, for example, if you're confused about where you would like to go for your summer holiday, so then you say, I would like to know where I should go for my summer holiday. And you calm down your mind and you just kind of look at the nature, look at the tree, and just come up with the answer and just see, write it down and see if it feels correct for you or not. That's a little intuitive exercise where you're just downloading what you feel. And don't try something very difficult with intuition if you've never tried it, because to work on difficult topics you need time. But just start with small things, yeah, like red cup or the blue cup or what you would choose, and just trust what you're choosing. Just try your intuition. And this is a special power, which is developed through a harmonious mind. I don't know, maybe the ones who have worked on themselves do use intuition in this webinar. And if you do use it, then share some experiences, because it's very hard to explain this. You know, uh, it's more easier to feel this intuition. Okay, so this is basically the structure of how I work with the client's mind to create harmony, and how a harmony is created, and how the thinking is reduced. And then added therapy or herbs or whatever, everything just works better because you do not act against yourself. Um, because I've been doing repetitive European projects where I go to the same places, I see people. I'm in Germany. I'm right now in Switzerland too, and Shivani with the Poland, which is part of my work in Poland. So I repeatedly meet the people, and most of the time I'm always looking at why they are not improving. And when they are taking herbs, and when they're following diet, and when they're doing oil pulling and everything, and they're not still improving, probably it is some deeper work which needs to be done. And most of the time this deeper work comes in fragments, right? Like it comes a little bit doing yoga, a little bit doing this. And I just like to put things together, so it is just a concrete plan on how a person needs to move and create harmony. But tonight I showed you and told you about the different minds which are created because of the modern world, and then we spoke about how to check your harmony score. um, and yeah, apparently that text is too big to be sent here in the chat, so we will be emailing you all with this text. So hopefully you're signed up for the webinar, and then you will receive this text also for checking your harmony score. And so you can see which aspects so you must work on, because after this webinar you should just sit down and you should write down these 6 points which I showed it to you, and just, like a container, just see which container would you need to work on. Is it relationship? Is it about your self confidence? Is it about your money management skills. Does money give you stress? Is this about sexuality, the expression of sexuality? Or do you really feel all the time you have to take decisions and control everybody's life, whereas you need to develop intuition? So out of 1 to 10, you can rate yourself on how you feel on these 6 aspects, because this is the complete 6 aspects of Ayurvedic psychology, on which I work. And with this, it would be nice to hear which aspect do you think you need work with in the chat. I would like to hear this. What do you feel needs to be better for you? Or maybe you have worked on some aspect and you want to share something, then please share this, because it's always interesting to read your comments. And if you have any questions about this also, then questions are welcome. So if you have any question regarding stress, or regarding relationship issues, or regarding anything what we have spoken about, or if you have a nice strategy with which you work, because yeah, stress and developing intuition's weakest. Yeah, so when stress and intuition is the weakest, this is what you need to work on, Simona, right? So then it means most probably you are a fire type and you think too much. Developing intuition and self-confidence. Yeah. Claire, have you found out your purpose? Because purpose is really important for finding confidence. I couldn't find my confidence till I found purpose. And once the purpose was out, confidence came. That's it. No longer we care about what people think. See, Maya talks about money management, self-confidence, healthy sexuality. Yeah, I mean, money is a topic many people don't speak about, but in my all discussions, I really work on clearing up this connection with money, because it's really important to do so. Okay, so you see, now you have a lead on where you need to work on, and it takes a long time to find this out, how to be harmonious, what to work on. People don't know, because we are trying to add a little salt, to our life. Oh yeah, definitely your purpose, and you will find your voice too. If you find Ayurveda, you'll find your voice, because Ayurveda need people who would speak about it in a relatable and understandable way, suited to the modern times. Yeah. All right, and now I handle over to Steph.
Thank you very much for this very interesting talk, Dr. Shivani. If anyone has some more questions, please write them in the chat, and Dr. Shivani will reply to you after I finish talking. Meanwhile, you're writing your question, I wanted to let you know that soon we are launching our next edition of my Ayurveda course, which is the Ayurvedic Consultancy Course Level 1. It will start on 15th of May. And this edition will have a new 2 version. So the first version, it will be the traditional successful My Ayurveda course that everyone already knows probably. And on this, there will be added like a pro version, like an extension. And this will be based on only the mindset part. So this will be called like My Ayurveda Mindset. And the 6 classes will be added to the usual 10 weeks classes. And the 6 topics covered by Dr. Shivani during the webinar will be discussed. So for those who are already having all the knowledge about Ayurveda and would like to buy only the mindset part, they can also do that. So it's really like 2 versions. Rather you can take both, rather you can take one or the other one. All you have to do for that is to sign up with the link that we will put in the chat now. So you can have this link, you can sign up for the waiting list, and then we will send you all the information. Finally, as promised, for the ones who have been here live with us and who have registered for the webinar, you will get a secret surprise gift that will be sent to you to develop more clarity in your life, along with a workbook. I will be sending this to you in the next days. And as of now, if there is any question, Dr. Shivani will reply to them.
Okay. All right. Evelyn asked, could you repeat about controlling, please? How to find one's purpose? You remember what I told you, Evelina, about the three reasons why we have thoughts? The thoughts come because we have some past experience, right? So, this past experience, when it is really very important to see why you're trying to control, is this a relationship with the past experience? Or is this because in your current life you need to control and you don't trust the people around you and that they're capable? uh, because I found many people, they don't trust their partners, they don't trust their children, they don't trust things at work, they don't trust their co-workers, and so they try to control everything. And trust can be always created with communication. Yes, you can, two people can sit, and we can all talk about what topics are arising, and then we can actually start creating trust. And that's where the controlling ends, because we start trusting the things around us. If we don't trust things around us, then basically we will always try to control everything, and control is just a pita illusion. Nothing is actually in your control. You can even follow a set procedure, but results are never in your control. It's in the hand of the universe. How to find life's purpose? I think when you're starting to get more harmonious, then you're starting to find your purpose. And it is very interesting experience for me, because when I started online, then I was talking to one of my friend, and I was telling I'm very happy because I found my purpose on how to use Ayurveda and spread Ayurveda to the way I would like to present it. And she said, well, purpose and all is just an illusion, but I strongly believe that your purpose is really important, because when I had a purpose, then any amount of obstacles for me doesn't look big obstacle. It just looks like, okay, this is a new field, it is challenging, but I would like to be basically above this, because I would like to achieve my purpose. So the work is always starting the work is starting in the format of my Ayurveda, right? Like, you'll need to learn how to really first listen to your body and the small signs, and how to hear it. Like I told you before, that it's not that I do not have stress, but I know when is the limit and when I can plug off and how I can heal and things like that. Yeah, there's no person on this planet who is not having stress, but we can learn how to bring ourselves to balance. And when you start to do the elementary step with intuition, you find the purpose. It's very difficult to find the purpose with the brain. You just get it, what you would like to do. That's how it happens to me. And as a joke, I used to always say to my friends also that basically when I'm running on the treadmill, something I download, and later I understood that this is basically intuition and my guidance, because my mind was really clear from the cardio. What's good for your heart is good for your head too. So that helped me. So yeah, I think reduce controlling, find harmony, and you will find your purpose. Wow, interesting webinar today. Lots of interactions, and we're very happy to have you here. And thank you all very much. And have a nice evening, and have a reflection on this webinar, because I can ensure you that developing harmony is one of the best gifts you can give to yourself. And life is beautiful when we start to create what we want, and when we start to share our gift with the world. So I'm very happy to share my gift of Ayurveda with you. And it was so nice to see you all who were in the live, and the ones who will be watching the replay. Have a nice evening. Thank you.